Okay, can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. Tonight, I've got a timer, which means once this thing goes off, it's over. Do you know how hard this is going to be for me? But my fitness consigliere, Devin Peterson, told me it's too long. It's not working. She knows more about this stuff than I do, so I'm listening to her. So here's the watch. All right, I'm starting right now. I got my 1 minute to complain about the timer, and then I have the timer. I have 20 minutes to talk to you. I was going to do a whole video on push-ups today, but that can't happen because there was a whole uproar in my email about how dare I say the chin-up was not a great exercise or the pull-up was not a great exercise. How dare I say it was not the king of all exercises. Well, I'm going to say it again. The chin-up and the pull-up, for a lot of people, is a dumb exercise. Now, that's me being a little dramatic and extreme. It's not a dumb exercise. It's just not a necessary exercise. Now, look, if you're entering the World Chin-Up Championships, if you have some high-ended athletic goal that you have to achieve, then that may be a necessary exercise you have to do. But there are no exercises you have to do. Look, I got 20 minutes as of right now. So let me just get to the point here. If you are an average, everyday fitness person, which is the only people I train, and if you're watching this and you're an average, everyday fitness person, and you're not trying to win Olympic gold, okay, and you're not trying to jack yourself up on Slim and Trend and win the Mr. O, all right, or the Mr. Trent or whatever it is you do. If you're not, actually I shouldn't say that because that's not fair to those guys for their contest. They may very well be drug free. This is why these damn videos need a timer. So, and if you're not, sorry, let me go there. And if you're not trying to become a world-class power lifter, or you're not trying to win the Olympics, or you're not trying to become an Olympic lifter, screw it. You're just not trying to become an Olympic lifter or a power lifter of any type. You just want to get a little more tone so you look a little better naked, so you build a little muscle, so you resist disease a little better, so you're a little more functionally independent in life. You never, ever, ever, and I'm talking, I think it's Taylor Swift, will ever get back together again. I think that's the person who sings that. You never will most likely ever need. I can't go like that because the only assholes say never, but I just said it 100 times, so what's that tell you about me? You will most likely never, ever need, unless you're going after one of these goals, you will most likely never, ever need anything more than this. Front of thigh, back of thigh, chest, back, shoulders, thighs or biceps, triceps. Oops, put a dot over the R. You will most likely not ever need more than this. Done for, I don't know, even if you have 9 to 12 sets, done every 7 days, spread out evenly throughout the 7 days, done 48 weeks out of the year. You won't need this, anything more than this. And if you really want to get movement crazy, can you see that? Yeah, you can see that. If you want to get movement crazy, okay, fine, you do squat. You do hinge. You do lunge. You do horizontal push and pull. You do vertical push and pull. This is for you movement pattern nerds, all right? And then you get crazy, you do elbow flexion. You'll probably even believe these exist. Right? No one needs to do elbow flexion, blah, blah, blah. And elbow extension. Again, these would be suspect in your world. But here we go. Okay? Just so you're not going to get all upset. All right? Just so I got everyone covered. So no one's getting mad. I don't even know. Making arrows. I don't even know exist. Boom. Oops, sorry about that. No. Boom. And boom. And boom. Okay? And again, you probably hate these anyway, so it doesn't matter. You don't need to do more than this. It's just not necessary. Here's another thing that's not necessary. Certain exercises are not necessary. Again, if you want to become a power lifter, you're going to have to squat, you're going to have to bench, you're going to have to deadlift. If you want to be an Olympic lifter, you're going to have to clean and jerk, and you're going to have to snatch. If you want to be the Mr. O, even then there's exercises you don't have to do. Right? I gotta work this down. Time is running out on me. I got a pair of old dirty sweatpants. Look at this. What the hell did the timer say? Right. All you have to do is work these patterns. You have to find an exercise that works for you, for your individual physiology, and God forbid I say this because the people in this category don't seem to understand this, your individual psychology. Some people do not like to have a hard, cold bar of steel jamming down on their spine. They just don't like it. But God forbid you say that, but they don't like it. So there's no exercise. Some people don't like hanging off a bar and pulling themselves up. You don't have to do it. Look, do you know what? You know what this is? This is simply knee extension, and on the way down, it's hip flexion. On the way up, it's knee extension. I maybe got that wrong, so let's say knee extension, right? Right. So all the squat is you're flexing your knees, your hips, and you're bending your knees on the way up. You're extending your knees and extending your hips on the way up. That's all it is. So as long as you load that pattern in some way, if your goal is to be an average, everyday, strong enough to get around in your life, to quote Ezekov 3:16, if your goal is to make what you do in the gym, do what you do outside the gym better. Let me get that quote correct. If you're Ezekov 3:16 and your goal is to make what you do in the gym, make what you do outside the gym better, and I don't mean take on all comers. I mean just enjoy your life a little better. All you have to do is work these patterns. In an exercise that works for you, the chin-up is one of those exercises, but it's not the only exercise that creates what's known as extension at the arm. It's not the only exercise that creates adduction at the arm like this. There are multiple different exercises that do that, and as long as you create a mechanical stimulus that is of a sufficient volume and intensity to create a chemical response in the muscle, all right, volume and intensity, right, you will get, even though it's an adaptive adaptation, and for you will get an adaptation. I don't know if I'm spelling this right. I don't care at this point because I'm on a timer. You will get stronger. You will build muscle. You, especially if you lose 10% of your body weight, will look better naked. Let's get down to what this is all about. There is no exercise, including friggin' chin-ups, that own this. It's not like the chin-ups are the king. Right? They're not the king of the adaptation universe. And everyone in the serfdom goes up the chin-ups. Right? You're just trying to create this at these varying movement patterns. Chest, right? So you're abducting and adducting the shoulder blades for you movement lunatics, right? If you're going overhead, you're upwardly, or if you're pulling downward, you're rotating upwardly and downwardly rotating the scapula, right? You don't need to care what that means. Your arms go this way and that way. They go this way and that way. They do this, they do that. Your hips do this, your hips do that. You can do them from a split stance and a lunge. As long as you're overloading those patterns with some movement that you can replicate with enough volume and do with enough intensity, you're going to be on this train to gains. All right, this is a first class ticket to gains land. There is no exercise that owns that. And I think the reason why, I got 12 minutes, I'm doing good. I think the reason why people got all upset about this, I'm going to tell you exactly why. If this is all you need, some variation off of these two, and you just need to find exercises that work the body through these motions with an adequate volume intensity, get the chemical response, to get the adaptation that helps you get stronger, build muscle, look better naked. If that's all you need to do, why do people get so upset about me bad-mouthing and saying you don't have to do a certain exercise? And I thought about this, and I know exactly why people get so upset about chin-ups. I do. And I'm going to tell you why. And I'm just using this one exercise so you can apply this to any movement. If you do a movement and it doesn't feel right on your body, or you don't enjoy it, you don't like it, right? Maybe not enjoy it, because most people just sit on the couch, eat donuts all day if it was about enjoyment. But if a movement causes you pain or discomfort, or you just don't even want to go to the gym because you know it's waiting for you, and you're not some lunatic exercise person who, that's exactly why you go to the gym. I know, I used to be one of these lunatics. All right, so I destroyed my body. I know what it's like to fret going to the gym because I knew there was a certain exercise waiting for me. Because that's what I did. I lifted weights. That's not who you are. I've been on both sides of the rainbow, people. You don't have to do exercises you hate. Yes, if you're a lunatic weightlifting person, there are probably exercises you have to do that you hate. Because that's part of the lunatic weightlifting person contract. That is not part of the contract of average, everyday people who are trying to get stronger and look better. That has nothing to do with it. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to pick on this one exercise, the chin-up, because it'll explain all the reasons why normally intelligent people get so wacko about a movement of which there's 10 different exercises minimum that do that same movement. Why they get so obsessed about this one exercise. I'm going to tell you why. So I'm going to take my dirty sweatpants and I'm going to erase this bad boy off because that's how well prepared I am. Remember, we have no problems with lighting here, people. Maybe it was Taylor Swift. I can't. It's not her. Who knows? Johnny will tell me tomorrow to sing this song. All right, here we go. There's 3 reasons why people think the chin-up is the greatest exercise of all time. Number 1, like most exercises people think are the greatest of all time, it's because they are good at it. When you meet anyone who is hell-bent for leather, I don't even know what that means, it just sounds cool, for a certain exercise, it's most likely because they're good at it, because they're naturally built for it, because they're probably naturally built, but they built a lot of strength at it, because they've seen a lot of carryover of it to whatever they were trying to use it for, because it's a bias of whatever sport they're a part of. But they're good at it, or it's important to them because it allows them to be better at something that's important to them. But that's the main reason why they're just naturally good at it, and they can't get outside themselves. They can't understand why other people don't want to do what they're good at. And they may not be very good at it. Because they think somehow the body is just this den of equity, where all you got to do is approach it with the right exercises, and everyone will be squatting like an Olympic weightlifter. Right? So that's number 1, they're good at it. Number 2, and I'm talking about chin-ups here, right? They're well built for it. All right, so they got really broad shoulders like our bench press guy. They got a really nice thin waist with lat muscles that go all the way down to their butt. I'm sure if you looked at their arms, they probably have favorable tendon arrangements in their arm, so they can generate more force with less effort because their body is basically a moving erector set of beauty and leverage. They're built for it. People just don't get this. Look, you would never go to a horse track and say, oh, wonder why all those jockeys are short of us because they ride horses. No, it's because that sport self-selects for people who are smaller. And you never go to an NBA game and say, wow, bouncing all those basketballs must have made those guys taller. No, at that level, it self-selects for these things. Because those are the people whose bodies are good at that, are the best at that activity. And some people can't get over this. They may be good at it, they may be built for it, but you're not. Here's another reason why. They got daddy issues. All right? This is why I'm talking about the chin-up. This is why people are so obsessed with the idea that the chin-up is the king of all. I don't know if that looks like a mountain range with the UFOs on it. I don't know. But this is why they think the chin-up is the king of all exercises. Because they have daddy issues. And you may say, well, who's their daddy? Well, I'll tell you. It's the president's physical fitness exam. Now, if you're not from the United States, you may not know what the hell this thing is. But this was an apparent way to get kids to exercise more. What it really was a way to humiliate them by showing every one of their classmates who they were not. And one of the biggest things that caused these daddy issues was the pull-up part of the test. Because not everyone is well built for pull-ups. So when you take a bunch of kids, especially a lot of them have never done the exercises before, or maybe even they're just good at them, they have an athletic background that kind of accentuated their natural gifts, You put them up on the pull-up bar and they bang out 15 or 20 without figuring out how the hell they did it. And then you put a schmuck like me who's horribly built for pull-ups. And I was like, oh, I figured out that's why Shaq doesn't like pull-ups because he's not good at them. Exactly my point. That's why I built my back doing other exercises because pull-ups suck for me because I'm not well built for them. I'll give you a perfect example. Go back 1980, 87, I don't know, somewhere around there, Woodbridge Middle School. All right, I still have issues about this. There was a guy, I'll use his name because I'm using him in a positive light. His name was Blake Rutherford. Phenomenal 1980s feathered hair. Great guy. Blake Rutherford goes up to the pull-up bar and starts banging out chin-ups. And the gym teacher's heart literally started to flutter. And it wasn't because he smoked cigarettes in his office. Then this was the 80s, right? A lot of weird stuff happened. It wasn't his cigarette smoking in the office that caused his heart to flutter. It was watching Blake bang out badass feathered hair chin-ups. All right? Then my big-headed monkey ass goes over there, and I get up on the bar, and I grab it, and I'm like, and I'm trying to pull up, and I'm like humping the wall, and he throws his clipboard at me. Get down from there, you're embarrassing yourself. Right? Some people have pull-up issues. That's why they go after pull-ups. I have gym teacher issues. That's why I became a personal trainer. But the bottom line is, and Blake's a great guy. I'm not taking anything away from him. The reality is some people are just better built for certain exercises. All of a sudden you make those exercises the apparent indicator of fitness. And all of a sudden people who can't do it, they have daddy issues from it. Because they don't realize, again, different people are better at certain exercises based on their body build. How much time do I have left? Good, 4 minutes and 45 seconds. There's a book, Atomic Habits. The author, I talk about this numerous times, I'll talk about it again. The guy talks about Michael Phelps. He's like 6'4". He has the same size inseam on his pants as the world record holder, like in the 5,000 meters, who's 5'9". Why? Because having longer legs relative to your height is very advantageous to running. Having shorter legs and a longer torso is very advantageous to swimming because people are not all built the same and different body types are favored by different activities. But you were never told this. You were told this was a measure of your physical fitness. So all of a sudden, you get all these daddy issues. You think this exercise actually measures something. It doesn't friggin' measure. Right? It measures your ability to do that exercise. That's all it does. And again, I'm not knocking on awesome people that I've met in my life. I'm just trying to explain what happens here. And the third reason why people, and this actually is scary enough, is the most logical reason why I think, because they see really fit people do it, and they figure, well, that fit guy is really, really good at chin-ups, and he's fit, so therefore, I must have to get good at chin-ups in order to be fit. And that's the fallacy, and I think I probably should have saved the whole jockey basketball player thing for that. Because maybe it's the same thing over and over again. Some people are good at pull-ups. Some people are good at lat pull-downs. Some people are better at rows. It's all pulling. It's all arm extension. So who gives a crap unless you're entering the World Pull-Up Championship or you're trying to relive your present physical fitness exam glory? Look, if we know that bodies are built differently, and any woman who's ever saw, and I know this is Sohee Lee's thing, so I won't steal it from her. Any woman who's ever bought a dress that looked great on a mannequin look crap on her. She knows this. Any guy who bought a suit off the rack, he knows this. Bodies are built differently. So the idea that there is an exercise, let alone exercises, that somehow are better for everyone, that ignore the vast differences in the builds of people. Look, if you open a shoe store called size 10, you wouldn't sell many shoes. Why? Because not everyone's got a size 10 foot. So the idea that everyone should be in certain exercises is insane. That's why I said that about, and that's why it's vital that my clients understand this. And if my listeners and watchers and clients, if you're the only ones to get this, then I'm happy. Because I'm not trying to convince the world. I'm not trying to start a religion here. I'm not Moses. I've met trainers that are like this. They think they're goddamn gods. If they could walk in the room, they'd pee on the walls to establish their alpha male dominance. Right? And they're all the same. They're like Mussolini sitting on that. I'm not saying they're murderers like Mussolini. He always did this. I always liked this. And some people are attracted to that. They see a trainer that's just like this and is so sure about everything they say that they're empowered by that person's confidence without ever asking the question that, sometimes the exercises that trainer believes in is good for them and sometimes it's not. We got to get over this. You just need to work those basic patterns. You need to understand that every time someone goes hell-bent for a specific exercise to work, whether it's your back horizontal pulling or your chest horizontal pushing or your shoulders vertical pushing or your lats vertical pulling or your elbow flexion and elbow extension or your hinging or your squatting or your lunging, anytime they start telling you there's the most efficient way to do it, anytime they start going down that douchey road, which that is, the Beatles had Abbey Road, that's douchey road. Anytime they start going down douchey road, understand one of these three things are at play here, right? Because they're good at it, they have some issue with it from the past, or a person they think is fit does it. Oh, swimmers are so fit, yeah, throw my ass in a pool and see what happens, right? This is usually the driver behind it. Logic. This may be the most logical thing to do. Logic has nothing to do with it. You have nothing to do with it. But how you fit into how they understand exercise, that's everything. Again, get your pushes, get your pulls, get front of the thigh, back of the thigh, bi, tri, shoulder. Find movements that work for you. Progressively load them over time. Oh my God, there goes the buzzer. The video is freaking over. 21 minutes, I can't believe it. Goodbye.